Hey guys, I'm back. I was going to show another clip from DeadWingDork's channel where they talk about this guy who actually hurt and abused these hamsters that he got from, like, I think it was PetSmart. But listen to this. This is what happened.
This kid's from my city. He's currently in custody for killing and abusing these poor babies. So that's not cool. And we wondered how we would go about finding such a thing, finding out info about that. But we found out the town that he lives in is actually in my province, so I live close to this man. Let me see here. Kelowna man's alleged hamster torture prompts animal rights group response.
See, this is what I'm talking about. These people are raping, abusing, killing animals. They're buying them at pet stores. They're getting them off, Craigslist, finding them, homeless animals. And then they're posting them on these big platforms. And the platforms are just allowing them to share these videos. I mean, months to years go by sometimes before anything is ever done. And what's scarier than the actual person who's doing these things to the animals are the fans who are egging it on and telling them to do different horrible things to these animals. These are serial killers in the making. These are child abusers, pedophiles, molesters in the making, if not already. Our society, we as a public, we have to stand up. We got to stop this. You cannot tell me that MAPs, zoophiles, child molesters, that these people, you can't sit here and tell me that that's okay. It's not okay. And then when it happens to your family or your animal, then we want to get mad. Then we all want to get upset. Then we want to do something. Once it's out in the news, people hear about it, they talk about it, and then bam, a week or so later, it's forgotten about. Or they get out of jail on some cheap bond. I just don't understand why our judicial system isn't doing more. Why are we not doing more? These are the same people who start off hurting and killing animals. They're the same ones that end up hurting people. That should tell you right there, hey, he violated, assaulted, and killed these animals. Is that not the same history that these big known serial killers had in their past? It's the same. They started off doing the same exact stuff. And like I've told you before, go to DeadWingDork's channel. Lots of great videos. I mean, he has these full live streams that point out and call out these people. And it's not intended to bully or throw hate to anyone or to harass anyone. It's to help stop this mess. And the only way to stop it is to call these people out. Because until they're known for doing it, they're going to keep on doing it. Just like that snake thingy guy. Molesting his own family. His own little nephews. And his mom and his family sitting there and enabling it. Oh, I guess because they don't want to be embarrassed, or they just don't want to tell nobody, or they don't want to say no to him. I don't know the reason. But to sit there and enable your child to molest your grandchild and just walk past the door that's, got a crack in it, but he's in there with that child. He's got child porn. These things, and you just creep by the door and leave that kid in there with that pedophile? Come on, man. We know better. We got to step up. We got to do something. And if the mom won't do nothing and the family won't do nothing, the rest of us can get online, we can call them out. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor. None of that matters. Get on your phone, get on your laptop, on your tablet, get on your radio. It don't matter. Anything, and call them out. Don't go hating and threatening or nothing like that. Just say, hey, it was in the news. This person did this or did that. Went to jail, got out. Didn't go to jail, whatever. Make it known, because we have to stop this. Just like with the Davi Vanity situation. The man's still out. Has not been arrested. Has not been locked up. But we have, hundreds of ladies who have come out saying all the things that he did, with pictures where they were hanging out with him when they were like 10, 12, 13. Doesn't matter what age, it was underage. There's videos, there's proof. And besides the video and the proof, we call it allegations. Everyone has the same story. Almost every single one has the same exact story about Davi Vanity. You can't tell me there's nothing there when every one of them's got the same story. You know they're telling the truth. This whole system of giving these people a slap on the wrist, it's crap, man, it's crap. This whole thing, he got arrested for those 2 girls on his tour bus, right? And then, because the parents, whatever situation was, I don't know, and I don't want to bash them, but for whatever it was, I don't know if they didn't go to court or what was going on with it, but Davi Vanity got back out and nothing was done. I just don't know. What is it going to take? How many more have to die before society steps up and does something and says, hey, change the laws, make them harder. If you hurt a child, you're going to prison and you're not getting out next year. You're going to be there. If you hurt an animal, whether it's a hamster, a dog, rabbit, cat, whatever, you do that, you're going to jail and you're going to be there for a while. If you notice that a family member of yours is doing something that's harming someone or something else, stop them. Go get help. Don't sit there and enable them to do more or do worse or ignore it. They're only going to get worse. You have to stop it and say, hey, we're going somewhere. We're going to get you some help right now. You need help. This is not okay. This is not right. But no, what do a lot of these people do? They just push it under the rug. Just sweep it on under the rug and forget about it. No, we don't want our family embarrassed. Well, I'd rather be embarrassed because my family member had to go get help than be embarrassed by my family member being on the news for raping or killing someone. I would rather be, hey, let's go get you some help. Even if you got to be locked up and whatever it takes, we're going to get you you're going to get right. I'd rather that any day than to know that my family member physically hurt someone, emotionally hurt someone, verbally hurt someone, stalked someone, attacked them, kidnapped them, did worse, or killed them. I would not want that on me. Oh man, that would be horrible.
PETA, of all people, are calling for PetSmart to stop selling live animals after a Kelowna man allegedly tortured 3 hamsters he bought there.
Now, what I will say about the whole PETA thing, I don't agree with a lot of what PETA does, but the only thing that I will agree with is that I do think that places like PetSmart should not be able to sell pets to anybody. I think there should be more that you have to do or prove to show that you can take care of that pet. I think that there should be some kind of a certificate, a license, something that you should have to prove. Even a parenting class, heck, I don't know, something that you should have to do to prove you're going to care for that animal properly. Well, just like when you have a baby at the hospital, you should have to take parenting classes. Look at how many people cannot, will not, or should not have a child. Look at the ones who can't take care of a child. The ones who won't take care of a child. But they go home and they end up falling out of windows, or they end up very bad things happening that shouldn't have happened if they were being watched, if they were being fed properly. You look at Daddy 05 and that whole situation. That should never have happened. The first video that popped up with Cody being abused, that should have been when CPS stepped in and said, hey, you're not going to do this to this child anymore, ever again. The very first time it was posted, there was fans in the comments. Hit Cody harder. I don't like Cody. Cody this, Cody that. Punch him harder. I think Jake should beat him up harder. What? What is wrong, people? What is wrong with you? You should have been, hey man, nah, we're reporting this. The neighbors, instead of people saying, oh, they're YouTubers, hey, they're cool, they just moved to our neighborhood, it should have been, have you seen what they what they have in their videos? We don't want that, we don't want that here, report them. CPS, when they got that first call, they should have done something. Look at the Josh Powell, Susan Powell case. It was reported. how many times, what and all, have you, go read that. If you haven't heard of that story, go read it. It's where Susan Powell goes missing. We'll pull it up. Hold on. We will pull that up. Susan Powell goes missing, and then her husband has the 2 kids. I spelled that, autocorrect spelled it wrong. After she goes missing, the husband claims they went on a camping trip. He has the 2 kids. Come to find out, the husband, his father, is stalking Susan and has tons of tapes talking about her body and how he loves to touch her and he stalks her and all this stuff. And he's constantly videoing her and hitting on her and wanting to be with her. And she tells him she doesn't want to be with him like that. And they end up living with him. And this man secretly records her, steals her dirty underwear, her dirty tampons. That's going to be another video I'm going to do at another time. But after she's missing and they can't find her body, guess what? Courts, later on, the courts finally step up and put the kids in the home with the grandparents. But you know where they messed up? They gave Josh, the kid's dad, visitation. And as a CPS worker goes over to his house with the kids, he jerks the kids inside the house, locks the door, blows the house up, killing himself and the 2 kids. And the CPS worker's outside on the phone with 911, trying her best to get them there. And the house is already blown up. It's done, it's over with. They're all dead. And at that point, why didn't that wake America up? Why didn't that say, hey, why didn't we say, hey, oh my gosh, this can't happen again? If a husband or a wife goes missing and like that situation, like that case, then it should be investigated to the fullest and the kids should not be in the home. Especially when they find out that the father-in-law is a pedophile who has been stalking her. When they find out that the father has child porn, the father had child porn in the home. Then the detectives, CPS, they knew all this. And the father still got visitation. Even while living with his father, he still got visitation. And it just blows my mind that Susan's parents had to fight tooth and nail to get those kids out of Josh Powell's custody. They should not have had to fight that hard. They should have gotten those kids on the first try. CPS should have took them and gave them to him before any of that. And he should not have gotten any visitation. There was already proof. He bickered back and forth with police. He would not cooperate. That sign right there, that's a red flag. That he should not have had those kids. But yet he did. Look at the woman, I think it was South Carolina. She drove her minivan into a beach with all of her kids in it. Guess what? She's getting visitation of her kids again. After she literally drove them into the beach, the ocean, guys. She drove them into the ocean. And then they say, oh, well, that's mental illness. Let her see her kids again. But she's going to be supervised. Well, you know what? Josh Powell was supposed to be supervised. That's what the CPS worker was doing there. And the CPS worker could not fight him off. He jerked those kids into the house and blew the house up. We should not be putting these kids back in harm's way. We should not be putting these dogs back with people like Brooke who abused them and then shared the video on YouTube. And we see them abusing the kids and the dogs, spitting in their face, yelling at them, hitting them, and you're going to put the dog or the kid right back in their custody? When do we learn? What more does it take? I don't know.